जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरंग गंधर्विका गिरिधारी जी की जय। जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरंग शिशि राधा मदन मोहन पंचतत्त्वात्मक श्री गौर हरि की जय। जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरंग शिशि राधा नयननाथ जी की जय। जय श्री गौर नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ देव की जय। जय नित्यलीला प्रिस्तोम विष्णुपाद परमहंसास्तत्र सचिशिला भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोसाई महाराज की जय। जय नित्यलीला प्रिस्तोम विष्णुपाद परमहंसास्तत्र सचिशिला भक्ति दैत माधव गोसाई महाराज की जय। जय नित्यलीला प्रिस्तोम विष्णुपाद परमहंसास्तत्र सचिशिला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। जय परमहंस श्री गौर किशोर दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। जय शिशिला सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। जय वैष्णव सार्वभौम शिला जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। जय श्री रूपानुग गुरुवरे की जय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासुदेव गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपी गो गोवर्धन वृंदावन श्री राधा कुंद श्याम कुंदात्मक श्री ब्रज मंदिर की जय। जय श्री नवदीप धाम की जय। जय श्री पुरुषोत्तम धाम की जय। जय श्री बलदेव सुभद्रा जगन्नाथ श्री सुदर्शन चक्र जीव की जय। जय श्री वृंदा देवी तुलसी देवी की जय। जय सर्व विघ्न विनाशनकारी श्री नृसिंह देव की जय। जय श्री पुरुषोत्तम मास की जय। जय श्री पुरुषोत्तम व्रता की जय। जय व्रता पालनकारी भक्त वृंद की जय। जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। जय समागत भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। गौर परमानंदे हरि बोल। वंदे हम श्री गुरो श्री जुता पादा कमला श्री गुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्री रूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितंश्च श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, 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 Hari Bol. We are observing Purushottam Vrata, means most auspicious month is going on, and Vrata means vow, to serve Krishna more in this month. So we are hearing prayers of Brahma. Yesterday there was one verse when Brahma says, these Brajavasis are fortunate, but we, the presiding deities of 11 senses, are also fortunate, because the senses of these devotees in Vrindavan are like cups through which we repeatedly drink the nectar of your lotus feet. So I said I will see some other commentary, means translation. So I checked in A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj's Krishna book. He says, my dear Lord, no one can actually appreciate the good fortune of these residents of Vrindavan. We are all demigods, controlling deities of the various senses of the living entities, and we are proud of enjoying such privileges. But actually there is no comparison between our position and the position of these fortunate residents of Vrindavan, because they are actually relishing your presence and enjoying your association by dint of their sensory activities. We may be proud of being controllers of the senses, but here the residents of Vrindavan are so transcendental that they are not under our control. So this is the point. Actually, they're enjoying their senses through service to you, means direct, not being controlled by these presignities of the senses. I shall therefore consider myself fortunate to be given a chance to take birth in this land of Vrindavan in any of my future lives. So from this commentary I understood this point, that the demigods, they cannot enjoy the nectar of Krishna through the senses of Brajavasis. Then again, I will read this commentary which I was reading yesterday of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. The inhabitants of Braja have also made us, the demigods, most fortunate. This is the intention of this verse. Brahma prayed, what to speak of the fortune of the Brajavasis? We have also become fortunate. Who can describe it? The demigods like Shiva and I, who are the 11 deities in charge of the senses, have become most fortunate. Through the senses of the Brajavasis, we have tasted the extremely intoxicating nectar of the sweet sound of Krishna's ankle bells. But we have to wait till the end of commentary. In this way, Brahma expresses his determination to see, hear, touch, taste, smell, think about, and massage the Lord. Besides the 10 senses, there is mind, intelligence, false ego, consciousness or chitta, and their presiding deities. So there are 14. Of these 14, the genital and anus are rejected as lowly. Vasudeva or Krishna is the presiding lord of consciousness, chitta. Excluding these 3, leaves the 11 senses and their presiding deities. Therefore, Brahma prays, we, the 11 presiding deities of the senses, are experiencing Krishna's sweetness through the 11 senses of the inhabitants of Braja. Now this point starts. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wants to say, something else should be considered here. The sun, moon, demigods, men, animals, and all the other entities of the spiritual world are Satchit Ananda, eternal, full of bliss and knowledge. And in this Purushottam month, our sun now also is Krishna. But this sun, moon, demigods in Brajadham, they are there for the sake of Lila, like Krishna is doing human-like Lila, so these are all there as participants in the Lila, and they are all transcendental, because in Vaikuntha, Goloka, there is only spiritual, there is no material, so they're also like servants there, and they're spiritual. The material sun, moon, and demigods are all expansions of the spiritual prototypes. The demigods of the material realm are specifically empowered agents of the demigods of the spiritual world. The material senses cannot act independently. That is true for material senses. Only by the sanction and power of the demigods, these material demigods, can the material senses experience material objects. Like eye can experience form, ear can experience material sound. By the sanction and power of the demigods who are presiding deities of each sense. This you will find more described in Upanishads, how this is, who is controlling what. Eyes are controlled by sun. So, but Shri Krishna's eternal associates independently experience the Lord's form and sound by their own spiritual senses, without any influence of the mundane demigods, because they're spiritual and Krishna is spiritual, so without any this material touch they are experiencing. So then this is the main point. Also, I was checking in Bengali translation of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary of our Mats Bhagavatam, the word utsuk, this enthusiasm or like eagerness. So here, in his enthusiasm, however, Brahma identified his power to control material intelligence with the senses of the inhabitants of Braja. In his enthusiasm, he is thinking that that power to control material senses with the senses of inhabitants of Braja, like in enthusiasm. Now further, Bishnu Chakravarti wants to say, furthermore, the material senses enjoy the objects of the mundane world, but the presiding deities who facilitate this pleasure, they sanction and give power, do not enjoy. The senses of us conditioned souls, they are enjoying, they are feeling. The demigods are not feeling what we are feeling, only, but they are presiding deities, so they have to give sanction and everything, but they are not bhokta, they are only karta, doers, but not bhokta. Bhokta is material senses, we feel. These all points we have to take into consideration carefully, otherwise the whole point of Bishnu Chakravarti we cannot understand. However, without the presence of Brahma and the other presiding deities in the intelligence, mind, eyes and nose, the senses of even those fixed in Krishna consciousness could not experience the sense objects of form or smell. This is perhaps for worldly thing. This I will have to check also in Bengali more clearly what is meant. This is the opinion of those who know the soul, because when I was reading Bengali, there it is like this is general understanding, samanya. But this point I will have to check again. So now this point comes. Because of their eagerness to taste the sweetness of Krishna, their eagerness, Brahma and others were able to experience bliss despite two faults. Because of their eagerness, utsaha, they were so utsuk. Because of their eagerness, they could experience bliss despite two faults. What are these two faults? Though Brahma and the other presiding deities of the senses are mere instigators or karta of the action of the senses, worldly senses, they took on the role of being enjoyers in their eagerness to taste. They were thinking we are also the enjoyers. What the senses enjoy, we also enjoy. Though in material world, they are not the enjoyers, but here due to eagerness, they are thinking we are enjoying also what the Brajavasis are enjoying. Although they are the demigods of the material senses, they took on the role of being demigods of the spiritual senses in their enthusiasm, like in prema, because now it will. These are the contrary actions seen in Krishna prema. Like you have prema and then you think like that. This is my understanding, but I will check with two Maharajas if my understanding is correct. Because further it says, in Padyavali it says that one reaches perfection by lying and criticizing. Like in prema, these things are there. Like contrary actions. In prema, you see Govardhan, no, you see one mountain and you think it is Govardhan. Though it is not factually, but you think like that. So factually, the senses of the Krishna's eternal associates are spiritual like the Lord. So how could material demigods enter their spiritual senses? As I understand, Bishnu Chakravarti says, it is impossible. But due to their eagerness, enthusiasm, they think like that. We are like those spiritual demigods, and we are also feeling what Brajavasis are feeling with their senses. Like because of that feeling, they are tasting, but not in reality tasting through the senses of Brajavasis. As Swami Maharaj told, that they are so transcendental, means Brajavasis, that they are not under our control. Then if they are not, how they can enjoy through these senses? Here, Swami Maharaj wrote, actually they're enjoying their senses through service to you. That is independent of us. So how now Brahma and demigods, they can say, means it is a fact that they are enjoying through the senses of Brajavasis, because they have no jurisdiction there. They cannot enter there. They cannot control. That is direct. So, but due to their enthusiasm, now being attracted by Krishna, they are thinking, we are the enjoyers of their senses also, and we are enjoyers of the senses, and we are spiritual demigods. Those are devotees. So my understanding is, it may not be correct, but my understanding is that Brahma is saying in the verse, we are also fortunate because we are tasting the nectar of Krishna through the senses of Brajavasis. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wants to say in commentary that Brahma only thinks like that, and Shiva, in their enthusiasm, they think like that they are experienced through the senses, but it is not so. They are experiencing bliss because of their enthusiasm in prema, and their vision is not fully factual. This is how I understand, but we'll see what other Vaishnavas also they will say. This is based on what Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj told, and here how I understand Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. And then further, it is in this commentary, there is another meaning of the verse. Sometimes a devotee will praise his own fortune out of greediness to taste Krishna's sweetness. Again, eagerness to taste Krishna's sweetness. Like his own fortune. Then how he's telling Brahma? The good fortune of the inhabitants of Braja is incomparable, but we, 10 demigods, Dikpalas, means 10 directions, are very fortunate. Why? Then, touching his finger to his senses, Brahma continued, He Krishna, with our senses, we also experience your beauty and sweetness as you leave Braja to herd the calves. Own senses, not through the senses of Brajavasis. Here Brahma is saying. So this is how I understand. Then further we heard, my greatest possible good fortune would be to take any bird whatever in this forest of Gokul and have my head bathed by the dust falling from the lotus feet of any of its residents. Their entire life and soul is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mukunda, the dust of whose lotus feet is still being searched for in the Vedic mantras. Then this verse also we heard, my mind becomes bewildered just trying to think of what reward other than you could be found anywhere. You are the embodiment of all benedictions, which you bestow upon the residents of the cowherd community of Vrindavan. You have already arranged to give yourself to Putana and her family members in exchange for her disguising herself as a devotee. So what is left for you to give these devotees of Vrindavan, whose homes, wealth, friends, their relations, bodies, children, and very lives and hearts are all dedicated only to you? Then we heard that like there are some who are sannyasis, jnani sannyasis, they want to renounce everything, but these household devotees, of Vrindavan are far superior, because everything they are dedicating for the service of Krishna, not renouncing anything, but dedicating for the service. Then at the end, as I told yesterday, Brahma is saying, you have already given yourself to Putana. You cannot rightly give yourself again as a gift to someone else. In essence, this is highly improper. Therefore, you are now in debt to the residents of Braja. Means Krishna cannot repay them, Brajavasis. Such love they have for him. That is why Krishna told to Gopis, I cannot repay to you. Your own devotion is your reward. I cannot give you anything. Brahma communicated this message by the movements of his nose, eyes, eyebrows, and neck. Then we also heard this, my dear Lord Krishna, until people become your devotees, their material attachments and desires remain thieves, their homes remain prisons, and their affectionate feelings for their family members remain foot shackles. So here it was in commentary that sannyasis, jnani sannyasis, they try to reject everything, and that attachment and hatred, raga and dvesha, and other material emotions, love this, they want to all give up, because they think that they are stealers of bliss, that atmaramata bliss. But yes, this is true for those who are rebellious souls, who are bound by their karma. They're in the prison of their house and these attachments and all this. But, O Krishna, as long as people do not get the mercy of your devotees and become your followers, they remain in this position. However, when they become your devotees, they develop attachment for bhakti and aversion to things obstructing bhakti. In this way, they are utilizing raga and dvesha. They are very much attached to the service of Krishna, and they don't like that which is obstacle to service of Krishna. Like Krishna pritye bhogotyag, one kind of sadhana is there, out of 64, to give up enjoyments for the satisfaction of Krishna. Those enjoyments which are obstacle for the service of Krishna. Taking prasad, taking articles of Krishna's prasad, all this, what is necessary for our survival and for our service of Krishna, that is not included in enjoyments, according to Yukta Vairagya. So those enjoyments which are obstacles for the service of Krishna, which will make us forget Krishna, those one should reject for the sake of giving satisfaction to Krishna. They're obstructing bhakti, and then they repose all their love in you. So in this way, the thieves of material attraction, hatred, and love become sanctified, purified, by becoming fixed in you, and then help the devotee by giving him spiritual bliss. So this is helpful, to have attachment, liking for things favorable for devotion to Krishna and service to Krishna, and hatred, dvesh, for those which are obstructing service of Krishna. And love to love Krishna, then they are beneficial. They help the devotee by giving him spiritual bliss, knowledge, and host of advantages. as I told yesterday, they're aware of the things. They're aware of what is Maya, what is Krishna, what is service, what is enjoy, everything they're aware. In that way, the same home, which was formerly a prison cell created by favorable and unfavorable karmic reactions, becomes for your devotee a place filled with service to you by hearing and chanting your glories, and a host of other activities meant to please you. That is proper household grihastha ashram. It is meant for service of Krishna, filled with service of hearing, chanting, and earning money for the sake of maintaining house, family members, service of deity, and Vaishnava guests. For that purpose and all other services, service of deity, then that is very good. All activities meant to please Krishna. And as I told, when this process was disturbed to do bhajan in house, then Prabhupada made this mat system to give opportunity to those who want to serve Krishna by becoming brahmacharis, though they were not like having control of the senses already, but they have inclination to serve Krishna. So through that service of Krishna, through sadhu sangha, they will gradually get higher taste and they will control their senses. They will lose all other desires gradually. And then further advanced is sannyasi. He already vows to engage fully in the service of Krishna by body, mind, and speech. That is why Tridanda Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave. And they are more advanced. They are fixed in the service of Krishna. They already gave up these gross anarthas, at least Nishta stage they must have. And then Babaji is superior even. That is possible only if one attains Bhava stage. And they are Paramahansas. They have nothing to do with this world and they are in Raga Marg and everything. Though Prabhupada is in that level, but he was presenting himself or being example of sannyasi for the sake of preaching, being example, because we should not imitate those who are Paramahansas, and we need some example how we should do bhajan where we are now presently. And because many Babajis, they were not actually qualified Babajis, they were not in Raga Marg, they were not on Bhava stage, they were not having natural renunciation, so some immoral activities they were doing in the name of Raganuga or Paramahansa stage. And Prabhupada noticed this, so he intentionally did not want to wear Babaji. Prabhupada is anyway an eternal associate of Krishna, but he is teaching here in this world. But he gave also some Babaji Besh to some his disciples, and his disciples also were giving, though in Gauriya Mat it was not so much in the sense of advancement, like Babaji is more superior in bhajan than sannyasi, not in that sense, but in the sense that those who are more inclined for preaching, they were qualified for preaching and inclined for preaching, they were given sannyas. And those who were not so fit for preaching, but they were very eager to do bhajan practice, then they were given Babaji Besh. So in Gauriya Mat, generally Babajis are not as respected as sannyasis because they are not preaching so much. But if you look from that other perspective, then Babaji is like superior level because that is Paramahansa. But Prabhupada wanted to be sannyasi because then no one because then he cannot make excuse, no, I'm in Ragamark, I am Paramahansa, you cannot judge me whether I'm doing immoral activities or not. No. He's still in Varna Ashram Dharma situation, so you can check him whether he's following Shastra or not. So Prabhupada, of course, he had ideal character of a sannyasi, so in that way he proved the transcendental character of pure Babaji, like Gurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. That was necessary in that time. But as I said yesterday, Prabhupada also had brahmachari disciples, those who were living in house and those who were living in the mat. He had sannyasi disciples, he had female disciples who were like ascetics, living in Vishnupriya village, only a female, not married or widows. And he also had household devotees, everyone he was guiding, how they should serve. Thus, when a devotee awakens his affection for you, then the bewilderment or moha from the objects such as his wife and sons, means attachment to wife and sons, becomes, because moha can mean bewilderment or moha can mean disattachment. It is mine and for me. So here, this moha from objects such as wife and sons becomes a cause for expressing his prema for you. They are, I belong to Krishna, my wife belongs to Krishna, children belong to Krishna, they are all your servants. How can householders like this be compared to ordinary sannyasis? They are far, far superior. That is, you will find very nicely explained by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in that Sharanagati songs. He said, I was so much burdened by this family life and earning and disease, so many things. But when I surrendered unto you, then my vision changed. Then I saw this is your house. All family members, they are yours. And now I'm only engaged in your service. And now I'm getting all bliss. With all of them, I'm engaged in your service. Then same house, which was burden before, and relations, became cause of expressing his prema for him, and they're all blissful. So such householders are far superior than false means or dry renunciates. Therefore, in Vaishnavism, there is no big difference between household devotees and ascetic devotees, because the main point is, if they are engaged, they are dedicated for the service of Krishna or not. Therefore, in Jaiva Dharma, you will find there is a question. If someone is ascetic, sannyasi or Babaji, and someone is householder, but householder has more devotion to Krishna than he, then who is superior? Bhaktivinoda Thakur said the one who is more superior in dedication and devotion, he is superior. That is why sannyasis also, they worship Srivas Thakur, his household, but they are worshipping him because he has such devotion. So the main point is devotion to Krishna. The residents of Braja have thousands of times more love for you than householders who live in other places. That also yesterday we heard. Because Brajavasis, they are in Ragatmika platform. So deep attachment, and because they don't see Krishna as God, but as their relation, so there is no restriction in love. Though you are the Purna Brahma, you show yourself as dependent upon these Premika Bhaktas by taking the form of their son, friend or lover to become their submissive servant. Up to here we heard yesterday. Prapancham nishprapanchopi vidam bayasi bhutale prapanna jana tananda sandoham pratitum prabho. My dear master, although you have nothing to do with material existence, you come to this earth and imitate material life just to expand the varieties of ecstatic enjoyment for your surrendered devotees. Commentary. Some think that the Purna Brahma, becoming the son of Nanda Maharaj in Braja, cannot be real or absolute. That is Mayavadis, they think like that. And that devotees who accept this are in illusion. You devotees, you think that is absolute, but it is not. Mayavadis, they think like that. In reply to this, Brahma recites this verse. Though you are always beyond the influence of material nature, you are ever situated within the material world. You assume forms and relationships similar to those found in the material world, but your relationships are not false and temporary like those of material fathers and sons. Your forms and relationships are completely transcendental and eternally existing. Though your pastimes are eternal and transcendental, they appear similar to material activities. That is, aprakrita. Looks like prakrita, but it is not. Why do you need to imitate material activities? You appear in the material world to further increase the bliss that your devotees taste from relishing your pastimes. Like pratyaksha, that is direct sense perception. That is one kind of knowledge. Then paroksha, to learn from the experience of others. Like I was never in America, but I hear from someone who has seen America about America and I get knowledge. That is paroksha. Then aparoksha is the knowledge given by Shankaracharya, which is beyond material and gross senses, means gross and subtle material senses. Aparoksha, that is transcendental, that Brahma, which you can experience in deep sleep beyond mind and body. And above that is adokshaja knowledge, that is Supreme Lord, his form, but is not comprehended by material senses, but by revelation. And superior to that is this Vrindavan, that is aprakrita. Looks like material, because Narayan, adokshaja, Narayan is having 4 hands and so much opulence that is you cannot find in this world. But Krishna Lila looks like human, Naravat, but it is not. So that is highest type of knowledge, that is aprakrita. This is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he explained, and I heard from Srila Bhakti Kakshidhar Dev Goswami Maharaj's recording. So here they appear similar, but they are not. So Mayavadis, they are bewildered. Because they have no devotion, they cannot realize that that is transcendental. Only devotees, they can understand. So, to further increase the bliss that your devotees taste from relishing your pastimes, just as a lamp does not shine as brightly in sunlight as it does in the shade, or as a diamond does not look as brilliant on a silver platter as it does on a plate of blue glass, Govinda's pastimes do not appear as astonishing in Vaikuntha as they do in the material world. This also I heard from Gurudev. our Gurudev. Once he told that Narad Goswami was going and he saw this Brajalila in this world, and he saw it is even more beautiful, because this material world is like a dark place, and when you bring diamond to dark place, it will shine more. So this is even better than Goloka. That is why also they told to, and for sadhana it is very good, they told to Gopa Kumar, you go down to this. He was already in Vaikuntha, but they told him, you go to Braja and practice Nama Sankirtan in this world, Braja descending in this world. And then after he got realization, he can go here and there, he can go. And he sees there is no difference. There is only difference that here there are some extra lilas, like killing demons and growing of Krishna and birth of Krishna. Some lilas are there more here in this world. But there is no difference. Even now that Brajadam which descended in India, still now Krishna is doing his pastimes there. But only those who have spiritual eyes, they can see. Our Gurudev explained, that is why Brajavasis, means 6 Goswamis, they were very eager to do bhajan in Vrindavan, because they see differently than we see. We see with material eyes, we cannot get that. But they're seeing everything is very charming. Trees, mountains, rivers, houses, everything is very charming, very beautiful, and they don't need anything. They're in transcendental realm, so for the maintenance they only need very little, only madhukari little and some water and little sleep. They showed this bhajan because they were in transcendental. Only 2 chapatis they need, and they are staying under tree and they are very happy. So when our Gurudev was explaining this, and he said, I also have desire. I was feeling that Gurudev knows what he's speaking, that it was not theoretically, but from his own realization that he's speaking. Then he said, but because my Gurudev ordered me for this Acharya service, that is why I'm here doing bhajan like this. But Gurudev was eager to do bhajan like the 6 Goswamis. And he asked us, are we qualified? Of course we are not, but I felt Gurudev was having that qualification, because how he was explaining, I could feel that he knows what he's talking about Braja Dham. And same it is for Navadip Dham or Purushottam Dham. They are all transcendental realms. Pastimes always going on there. Mahaprabhu now he is doing pastimes in Navadip. And only those who are fortunate, they can see. Now this is very important verse. Jananta eva janantu kim bahuktya na me prabho manaso vapusho vacho vaibhavam tava gocharaha. There are people who say, I know everything about, here it is about Krishna, it is about God. I know everything about Krishna. Let them think that way. As far as I am concerned, I do not wish to speak very much about this matter. Oh my Lord, let me say this much. As far as your opulences are concerned, they are all beyond the reach of my mind, body and words. Our Gurudev explained this verse. Like Brahma is saying, some are here, Brahma is giving us teaching. Some are saying, I know about God. Then Brahma said, let them say, I give them my dandavat from distance, let them say, but I cannot say like this. Now I got this realization. I cannot. You are beyond my mind, speech, and body, because body and words, everything. Brahma realized, before I could not recognize you. Who are you? Only by your grace, now I am seeing. But I am now singing your glories in humbleness, with great humility, not with vanity. I know everything. If this vanity is there, someone thinking, I know everything about God, I know. If vanity is there, it proves he does not know anything about God. In reality, he may think theoretically, I know, reading Shastra or hearing or something, and he may boast, I know everything. Then Brahma says, let him say. Let him say, I give dandavat from far. But our Guru said that proves, if there is any kind of vanity, any pride in anyone, then it proves he did not come in touch with Bhagavan. Because those who have, they have no vanity. They are fully humble. And as I explained many times, but the point is, if Krishna orders for preaching, then such devotees, outwardly it may look like they are proud, but they are not proud. They are only bold to speak about Krishna, to cut the misconceptions of us, conditioned souls, to cut through Maya. They are speaking boldly, but that is not out of any false pride, but only because they have realization of Supreme Lord. Of course, they feel not fully. We don't have fully because it's unlimited, but they're beyond Maya. So they know what is the truth, what is Jiva, what is Krishna, what is Maya, they know. So they, by their bold speaking, they can cut through Maya, like Shukadev Goswami. He was sent to Parikshit Maharaj because Parikshit Maharaj submitted to Krishna, then Krishna sent him proper guru. Then Shukadev Goswami came there and all stood up and they gave dandavat. Then Shukadev Goswami said, I am Shukadev Goswami. I was well established, I was realized in Brahmananda, but I was attracted to Krishna Lila, so I am telling you, you need not do anything. Only you hear Krishna Katha, you will get everything. So very boldly he told, and no one can say anything. Boldly, out of mercy, and that is out of humbleness to Supreme Lord, because that is his service to Supreme Lord. So preachers, like Swami Maharaj said, they are all rascals. That is not out of any arrogance, false ego of this world, no. That is only to clearly define what is Maya, what is truth. So here in commentary, here Shri Krishna might say, O Brahma, if this is all true, then please tell me how many wise philosophers are there like you who can so brilliantly explain everything about my transcendental form, my Braja devotees, my pastimes and my devotional service? Fearing that Shri Krishna might say this, Brahma then speaks this verse with shame, fear and repentance. Brahma says, I am of that category. I am the greatest fool. Then Krishna protests. If that is so, then why have you spoken all these words? Brahma replies, Kim bahuktya, what is the use of all my words? Speaking too much in your presence is simply a sign of my foolishness. Now his humbleness is there. Krishna says, my dear Brahma, you are trying to cheat me with your words. Brahma says, although I have meditated on them, my mind has no power to understand your opulences. My eyes cannot grasp your transcendental form, and my words cannot describe you. As I said previously in verse 7, Gunatmanas tepi gunam vimatum, who can possibly count your unlimited transcendental qualities? Another, yes, this meaning was, like Brahma is so humble that he says, some they proudly say, I know everything. But let them say, I am saying you are beyond I cannot fully describe you. You are beyond that I can say now I spoke everything and now I know everything. No, you are unlimited. This is one way. Another meaning is, I cannot grasp the powers of your mind with my senses. How then could I possibly understand the happiness you experience within yourself? I cannot understand anything about your body or any of your words, which are the Vedas. Indeed, when you are standing before me silently, I cannot speak even a word. In your presence, persons like me are totally insignificant. So one meaning is that Krishna or Supreme Lord is beyond the power of material senses, speech. You cannot. By His grace, you can realize up to extent which Krishna reveals to you. And when you have that realization, you will always be in humbleness. I cannot say about you. I cannot know you. Like I experienced one time, I was asking something, my Gurudev, about the meaning of something. Then he says, what I can say, unlimited reality is there. What I can say, like if I tell you some dictionary meaning or some meaning intellectual, what will be that? Like unlimited reality is there. So what I can say? But by that word, when I heard, I felt that he is realizing that everything, but from that perspective, means that unlimited Supreme Lord, from that perspective, he's saying what I can tell you. But in that his words, there was so much substance there and inspiration and everything that inspiration that I should also try to know that. But that is, of course, Gurudev told me, according to the level of your submission, you can know. It will be revealed to you according to level of submission. And that has got no end. Krishna is unlimited, submission is unlimited, so realization also is unlimited, never will. So those who are true devotees, they cannot have any arrogance, any pride. No, they are more humbler than a blade of grass. No worldly vanity, no worldly ego, nothing. Only when they are ordered to preach, they will be bold. So Krishna knows, and pure devotee knows, and it can be revealed to your heart who is a true devotee and who is not. Because someone may really be arrogant in speaking Harikatha, and that is not devotion. And someone may act like very humble, I am nothing, like this, but that is not coming from the heart. It is only acting. It is not coming from realization of greatness of Krishna, that how I am small, but it is only outward like acting. So both of these two, either very bold or very humble outside, may also be by someone who is not a real devotee. So we have to be careful. We cannot judge by external behavior in one way or the other. Like someone speaking very boldly Harikatha, that does not mean that he is a real devotee. Or someone very humble, that does not mean. Krishna knows his heart, and then one devotee asked how we can recognize. Then Guru said, if you are sincere for eternal welfare, then Krishna residing in your heart, he knows everything. He will reveal to you who is a real sadhu and who is not. Then you can know by Krishna's mercy. But only by external judgment you cannot know. Like that is why Vrindavan Das Thakur, not all can understand when he said, if someone does not believe in Nityananda, even after hearing about him so much, I am telling, or Vaishnavas, then I kick him to the head. Then so many, they criticize Vrindavan, this is not humbleness than a blade of grass. And, but they are wrong. Or like when Jiva Goswami was arguing against the Digvijay Pandit, who was very proud, and he wanted to show that Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis are fools. They have no courage to debate. So for that reason, to rescue the conditioned souls from wrong understanding of the humbleness of Rupa and Sanatan, and to help this Digvijay Pandit, Jiva Goswami very boldly he argued with him, and he defeated him so badly that he was passing stool and urine out of shock. So some misunderstand that Jiva was acting very arrogantly. That is not Trinada Pisanachana, but they are totally wrong. He was in Trinada Pisanachana because his target was to sing the glories and to protect the dignity of real devotees and of Krishna. So this we have to be careful, not to judge by external, or someone is householder, someone is wearing saffron cloth, someone is young, someone is old, someone is Indian, someone is Western. All these things are not proving that someone is devotee or not. Krishna knows what is in his heart, and we can know by Krishna's grace. Then tomorrow we will further hear what Brahma will say. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram Krishna Vasudeva, Jagannatha Hari Hari, Ram Krishna Vasudeva, Jagannatha Hari Hari, Ram Krishna Vasudeva, Gopinatha Hari Hari, Ram Krishna Vasudeva, Gopinatha Hari Hari, Ram Krishna Vasudeva, Shri Gauranga Hari Hari, Ram Krishna Vasudeva, Shri Gauranga Hari Hari, Ram Krishna Vasudeva, Nityananda Hari Hari, Ram Krishna Vasudeva, Nityananda Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare Hari Bol 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 Hari Bol. For yogis and jnanis, their senses are their enemies and mind. But for devotees, they are friends, because they engage them in the service of Krishna, body and mind. So they are friends. There is no problem. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ji ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Shri Radha Madan Mohan Panchatatatmak Shri Gaura Hari ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Shri Radha Nayananath Ji ki Jai. Jai Shri Gaura Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. Jai Shri Jagannath Dev ki Jai. Jai Patit Pavan Shila Gurudev ki Jai. Jai Shila Parang Gurudev ki Jai. Jai Shila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Shri Rupanuga Guruvare ki Jai. Jai Shri Panchatattva Prabhu ki Jai. Jai Shri Brinda Devi Tulsi Devi ki Jai. Jai Sarva Vigna Vinashanakari Shri Nri Shingadev ki Jai. Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Brinda ki Jai. Jai Samagatam Bhakti Brinda ki Jai. Jai Shri Purushottam Mas ki Jai. Jai Shri Purushottam Vrata ki Jai. Jai Vrata Palankari Bhakta Brinda ki Jai. Jai Shri Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Gaur Pramanande Hari Bol. Thank you all. Dandavat Pranam. Hari Bol.